You are watching No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel, and these are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel, and you know what's driving me crazy? What's driving me crazy is not only that we really don't have a new president yet, despite the media and certain other institutions calling it for Joe Biden, but the way the president and Melania Trump are being characterized, or I should say mischaracterized. So first we'll start with the lawsuits. The lawsuits continue, and we will be talking to an election expert from Michigan who can tell you about a lot of the irregularities in Michigan in the next segment. But the lawsuits continue, and they have not been resolved yet. And as we pointed out yesterday, Al Gore got until December 12th for his presidency to never be declared because he did not win. And that was only over one county, Palm Beach County, 500 votes in Palm Beach County. We are talking here about the whole country. We're talking at least about 4, 5, 6 states that are being contested, at least by the Trump campaign and by President Trump. It is time for us to let this run its course and not say, oh, it's a foregone conclusion because, Republicans, orange man with the orange hair, boo, we can't let him have his rights. We can't let half the country that voted for him, over 70 million people, have their rights. We can't let this go through the process. Only Al Gore is entitled to that. And do you remember, a lot of people have not mentioned this because I don't think they remember, but even George W. Bush, we were up all night until John Kerry conceded the next day. I think the next afternoon or evening. And he didn't have to. He could have dragged this out. In fact, the Democrats were urging him to, and they were disappointed he didn't. So why doesn't the president get the chance? And while he's trying to do this, the campaign against him is ongoing. They say, why doesn't Trump stop campaigning? Well, I say, why don't the liberal Democrats and the Joe Biden establishment stop campaigning against President Trump? Listen to this. So these are some of the stories in the media that the mantra is, and the theme is, oh, they're bad people, they're sore losers, they're classless. So there's a story that Melania Trump won't meet with Jill Biden. Well, you know what? If Jill Biden, or I'm sorry, I'm supposed to call her Dr. Jill Biden, who, she's a doctor of what? She does not have an MD after her name. She does not get to be called doctor by me, and you don't have to call her that either. She wrote a paper. Big deal. That doesn't make you a doctor. As I've pointed out on this show, I have a JD. Does that mean you should call me Dr. Debbie? No. I would never ask you to do that. I would be embarrassed if you did. All right, so she won't meet with Jill Biden. You know why? Because it is not a foregone conclusion that Jill Biden is going to be the next First Lady. We don't know that. Yes, it looks very likely, but until this is decided, she doesn't have to meet with Jill Biden. Trump won't release the transition funds. Yes, one of his appointees won't release the funds because, again, it's not clear Joe Biden is going to be president. Yes, it looks like it will be, but that will happen. But we don't know that. Biden may sue over this. So I get it. He's allowed to sue over things, but the president and his supporters, voters all around the country who have been denied the right, their constitutional right to vote, because their votes weren't all counted, they don't get to sue. So one person gets to sue, and he's just doing what he's supposed to do. The other person, he's litigious and a sore loser. Then there are Trump's law firms. So, I'm an attorney. We have an oath that we take, and we also have something called the attorney-client privilege. And it is a privilege that is so important that it even goes beyond the client's death. So if a client tells us something in confidence, we cannot even reveal it when the person is dead. We cannot act against that client's interest even after that client has died. But guess who's violating that attorney-client privilege? Supposedly, allegedly, Donald Trump's law firm. So Day and some of the other firms in the story. Google it. Because think about if this is who you want to be your attorney because they're talking negative about you in public. All right. Then there's a story that Donald Trump is going to release information. He's going to give away secrets. So there is no evidence of that. But there's an article saying President Donald Trump selectively revealed highly classified information to attack his adversaries, gain political advantage, and to impress or intimidate foreign governments, in some cases jeopardizing U.S. intelligence capabilities. That is the fear that he will do that. As an ex-president, there's every reason to worry he will do this. Please, are you serious? He can be prosecuted by that. Let's say he does lose this race. Let's say, as it looks very likely, because it's probably true that the legal challenges will not be enough. Even if they are successful, which is a very high mountain to climb, even if one of them is successful, he has to be successful in many of them. And let's say he is. Let's say that he is, and he can prove some votes should have been counted or some should not, and they can find those votes. It's still probably not going to bring him over the top. That's a few 100,000 votes, actually a few million votes if you're counting on the popular vote. But if you just look at the states where he narrowly lost, it's probably a couple 100,000 votes altogether in all of these states that separate him and Joe Biden. Do you think that if Joe Biden becomes president, or if he sees the handwriting on the wall, which he probably does, that he is going to risk being prosecuted by giving away these secrets? No, he's not going to do that. This is just conjecture to make him look bad, to stop him from pursuing this, and if he continues the pursuit in court, to make judges less likely to look in his favor. That is how they work in Washington. That's how they work in the media. That's how they work everywhere, which is against us and our values and wants to defeat this. Well, Attorney General Barr, I don't know how much use he's been to the president. We all know about the failed Durham investigation that didn't really do anything, but he has launched an investigation. Here's the thing with all of these legal challenges, and I will ask our expert about this in the next segment. December 8th is the Safe Harbor Day. So, yes, Al Gore got to go through September 12th. That's when the Supreme Court made their decision. But December 8th is the Safe Harbor. All the legal challenges are supposed to be completed by then so that Congress can do its work and certify elections and so on. Now, here's something that I think is great. A lot of the GOP congressional candidates who either lost narrowly or they lost by big numbers, they are refusing to concede also. They're taking the example from the president. And I think it's great. You know why? Because it's driving the Democrats crazy. So there's this guy, Errol Weber. He's a 33-year-old filmmaker from Los Angeles. I follow him on Twitter. He ran in California. He had a very low chance of making it. I think he lost by like 73% of the vote or something. A lot. Anyway, maybe it wasn't that high, but he was running in a highly Democrat district in South Central LA. He had no chance of winning, but he ran, and he's refusing to concede. I love it. It's driving these people crazy. Then there is Kimberly Klacik. We talked about her on the show. She ran in Baltimore. She's refusing to concede. John James in Michigan. I told you I'm not a big fan of his, but I think it's great. Let them drive all these people crazy. They want everybody to just give in, throw in the towel, and we're not going to do it. And we don't have to. They don't have to. Let them make these people angry. I think it's great. All right, when we come back, we have our special guest, attorney Catherine Henry, a constitutional expert, and she will tell us some of the jaw-dropping, unbelievable things that happen at the polls in Michigan, and it's just really incredible. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Howdy folks, it's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Boston breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar, sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the gang. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line. Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial-grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink from trusted manufacturers for the chef in all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran-owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
Beck Communications is honored to be recently recognized with 3 Broadband Now awards. Beck Communications Cooperative was awarded in the categories of Top Internet Speeds Nationwide, Top 3 Fastest Internet Providers in North Dakota, and North Dakota's #1 Fastest Fiber Provider. It's only through the support of our members and customers that Beck Fiber delivers award-winning speeds and service. Thank you, Beck Communications Cooperative members and customers, for your years of continued support.
Introducing Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, a better way to sleep. We offer you 5 different models to give you the perfect choice of support and body comfort. Every model begins with our exclusive Accord Comfort Reflex Layer. This ensures proper spinal alignment and a deep down body relief. Our 8-inch Whisper Breeze provides a medium firm feel, and our 10-inch Gentle Night model has a quilted top, giving you a medium plush comfort. Both use Outlast fabric on the top of your mattress, ensuring that your body temperature is not too hot and not too cold. Our Copper Rest Sleep Series is our premier mattress, offering your choice of firm, plush, and luxury plush. Every model uses copper-infused gel latex and provides all the health benefits of copper. Accord Comfort mattresses are handcrafted in the USA and come with a 60-night sleep guarantee. You're going to love sleeping with us. Order today exclusively at accordsleep.com or Tom's Home Furnishings in beautiful downtown Harvey.
Is your business phone system outdated and expensive to maintain? Most large VoIP companies leave you on hold or struggling through online support and training for your employees. With Beck Connect, you always have fast, friendly, local support. Familiar faces with the know-how to keep you connected. Take advantage of the newest technology in voice calling, video conferencing, and virtual meeting rooms. Beck Connect gives you all the features you need with no upfront investment and no obsolete hardware or software ever again. Simplify your communications. Choose local. Choose Beck Connect.
As the mayor of Bismarck, I invite you to join together today and stand united in the fight to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Case counts are steadily on the rise in the Bismarck-Mandan metro area, so please do your part. Protect yourself and others by wearing a mask when you're not at home. During the pandemic response, scientists have determined wearing a mask is a benefit to you and to those around you. This help keeps others from getting sick and may lessen the severity of illness if you were infected with COVID-19. We're all in this together. So let's get kids back to school, preserve our local economy, and keep our community strong. Let's show everyone how we come together to keep Bismarck the safe, resilient community we know and love. For more information, visit health.nd.gov/coronavirus. That's health.nd.gov/coronavirus.
You just might find the home of your dreams this weekend by watching the Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes Sundays at 6 p.m. and Wednesdays at 7 on Beck, featuring properties from Bismarck, Mandan, Minot, and surrounding areas. The Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes presents desirable properties that are for sale, lets you meet your Alliance realtors, and provides critical insights into local happenings from community and business leaders. Join us this Sunday evening at 6 or Wednesday at 7 for the Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes on Beck.
Beck Communications is honored to be recently recognized with 3 Broadband Now awards. Beck Communications Cooperative was awarded in the categories of Top Internet Speeds Nationwide, Top 3 Fastest Internet Providers in North Dakota, and North Dakota's #1 Fastest Fiber Provider. It's only through the support of our members and customers that Beck Fiber delivers award-winning speeds and service. Thank you, Beck Communications Cooperative members and customers, for your years of continued support.
Bismarck Central, 4800.
4800, go ahead.
Requesting social services on-call team.
Stand by. 4800 social services requesting additional information.
You can advise social services that we have an 18-month-old female who was in a residence with a mother, now being transported to medical care for overdose.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So, continuing with the coverage of the aftermath of this year's presidential and other elections, and we've mentioned this before, will President Trump run again in 2024 if he does not end up being the winner of this race? Yes, the answer is most likely yes. He's already raising a lot of money for his PAC in anticipation of that, possible anticipation. And he's already told a lot of his closest advisors that he's on for that because he thinks he can beat Kamala Harris, and he believes that's who the candidate is going to be. I think he's right on both counts. I think she is so far left. Remember, I showed you that 60 Minutes interview where even 60 Minutes, even Nora O'Donnell, the anchor of CBS Evening News, the one that nobody watches, she even said, you are the most liberal senator. She has a more far-left liberal voting record than even Bernie Sanders, even Elizabeth Warren. You know, they're so far off the deep end, as I always say, that they were eaten by Jaws. She was not only eaten by Jaws, but then Jaws was eaten by another shark deep, deep, deep in the ocean. She's that far off the deep end. So I think President Trump could run against her. I think after 4 years of these crazy two people, well, the one senile guy and then her, I think people are going to be ready to go back to Trump. And I think they're going to long for these days that we had. And I think by that time, things are going to be completely COVID-free. Because remember, and we will talk about this, how Pfizer waited to announce about this vaccine. And I have more to tell you about that. So I do think that he is going to run again. It's going to be interesting, though, because Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, who I think is great, and I think he's a big contrast to President Trump because of his personal demeanor. Their views are very similar, but his personal demeanor, and he did serve in the military. He served, I believe, in Iraq and Afghanistan. President Trump did not. He was accused of being a draft dodger. It's just a completely different scene. It'll be an interesting contrast. It'll be an interesting contest. And also, you know, we are talking about our former UN ambassador, Nikki Haley from South Carolina. Remember her, the South Carolina governor? She is also making moves to run. So it will be interesting to see. Now, I want you to take a look at Kamala Harris's Twitter account because this would be comical if it weren't so sad. Look at that. All right, look at her bio. Look at the very end of it. It says she/her. So she's giving you her pronouns. Oh my goodness. Eyes rolling out of their sockets. Please, come on. Pronouns, come on. You remember the good old days when you didn't have to give pronouns, when everybody knew if you're a woman, you're she and her, and you don't need to do that, which you don't need to do that. I'm sorry. But the reason and by the way, speaking of she and her, maybe it should have been he and him because her husband is leaving his job and his firm to support her in her position. Like I said yesterday, manhood gone. And I don't think he'll ever find it. Not in the next 4 years if they are elected, as it looks like. So her husband, Doug Emhoff, really is assuming the second lady position. Just saying, he's our next second lady. Then there is this woman. I want to tell you about her because it's a very similar situation. So this woman, I got to read this to you from my phone. This woman, her name is Maureen Turner. And this is an article from the Washington Post. And Maureen Turner identifies as a non-binary person. So she doesn't identify as a man or a woman, which then why is she wearing the Muslim headscarf? Only women are supposed to wear that. She doesn't identify as either. Why is it on her head? I mean, isn't she kind of like male maybe, or possibly? So listen to this. I'm reading this Washington Post article on my phone, and everything is it's not she, it's they. So instead of saying Maury Turner, she said, it says they said. They said their upbringing was in such and such Oklahoma, and they hope that this bodes well for them. Everything is their and them and they. Come on with this pronoun stuff. This is our present and our future, America. We are not only becoming Europe, we're becoming a parody of Europe. This is so sad. Oh my gosh, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. When we come back, we will talk about an update on the Senate races. The Ondal saga continues in North Dakota, and so does the saga to replace the late Jeopardy host. And also, I want to talk to you about what he did about pancreatic cancer. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Bismarck Central, 4800.
4800, go ahead.
Requesting social services on-call team.
Stand by. 4800 social services requesting additional information.
You can advise social services that we have an 18-month-old female who was in a residence with a mother, now being transported to medical care for overdose.
Trusting your digital life to faceless tech giants can be risky. Will they keep your family and business information truly safe from prying eyes? If you subscribe to local Beck Lightband Internet service, you already have Beck Cloud Backup. Beck Cloud Backup is the safest, most private cloud storage for all your family memories, schoolwork, and business documents. Call 701-475-2361 to start using your free space on Beck Cloud Backup today.
You just might find the home of your dreams this weekend by watching the Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes Sundays at 6 p.m. and Wednesdays at 7 on Beck, featuring properties from Bismarck, Mandan, Minot, and surrounding areas. The Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes presents desirable properties that are for sale, lets you meet your Alliance realtors, and provides critical insights into local happenings from community and business leaders. Join us this Sunday evening at 6 or Wednesday at 7 for the Alliance Real Estate Tour of Homes on Beck.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Howdy, folks. It's a Caroline Cafe. I reckon it's time you're due for a hearty meal. So saddle up for the day with one of our Hey Bossin breakfast homemade soups. Fill your grill at our salad bar. Sink your teeth into our famous Caroline burger and barbecue ribs. Top it off with spur rattling pie with a calm roll that's sure to put a smile on even the toughest outlaws. Shake the dirt off the boots each night and warm up with the game. Tell them about it, Stacy.
I can't wait to see you at the county line.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. Now, before the break, I told you about this non-binary candidate that won election in Oklahoma to the Oklahoma House. I just wanted to mention one other thing real quickly. So, in the article about her that says they kept saying they, their, them. there was a term called two-spirit. So I learned something new, another politically correct thing I wish I never learned. But apparently the native tribes have a term for LGBTQ members. They call it two-spirit. So new phrase of America becoming Europe, two-spirit. Two-spirit. All right, now more on some of the other races. The U.S. Senate races, I predict, and I said this yesterday, that the Republicans will end up with 52 seats in the Senate. And that all depends on what happens in January, because today, Tom Tillis was declared the winner over Cal Cunningham. The counting in North Carolina is over. And 95,000 votes ahead of Cal Cunningham. Tom Tillis beat him by that much. He is the Republican senator for now. So for now, the Republicans are up in the Senate seat race 49 to 48. Now they will get Alaska, so that's going to be 50 to 48. And it's all going to hinge on these two seats. Now if they do win those two seats, the elections are going to be in January. And that's because neither candidate got 50% or more of the vote, which you need to avoid a runoff. What is going to happen is the Democrats are going to be campaigning like a presidential race, like crazy in Georgia. They're going to be knocking on doors. So already today, this guy, John Ossoff, who is a far, far left liberal community organizer, he was on with his cackling, hackish hag friends on The View today, pushing his far left progressive stuff. We saw yesterday the video where his community field organizer, Mr. Wynn, said that he's really radical, but we can't tell those rednecks. We can't tell the Georgia rednecks about that. Yeah, that's how they look at middle Americans with traditional values. Now, let's say the Republicans get those 52 seats, which I believe they will. Georgia is overall a conservative state, even though it has changed a little bit. If they get those, there's still the problem. Mitt Romney, Susan Collins of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. They're the three problem children, with Mitt Romney being the worst. Now, they did all come around and vote for Amy Coney Barrett for her confirmation, but, you know, they were raising kind of the heckles about this. They were trying to get publicity for themselves and be up for grabs, that I might not vote with the Republicans, and that's how they are. So that's going to be a problem for the Republicans. We'll see how well Mitch McConnell keeps them in line. But I'll tell you a vote the Republicans may get for this crazy stuff, and that is Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. So he's kind of conservative on some things, although he was not that great on Justice Kavanaugh, who himself turned out not to be that great today when they were discussing Obamacare, and we'll talk about that later. But he said today, I am not going to go for court packing or any of that other crazy stuff. That's what he said. So he's not a radical, because he knows he is one radical vote in the Senate away from being unelected in West Virginia. That is a red state. It went for Trump. And if there's a good conservative Republican, they can defeat Joe Manchin. Now, I love this story. Eva Longoria, all right, you probably saw her hosting one of the nights of the Democratic National Convention. She's a far-left liberal. Desperate Housewives, unfortunately, put her on the map. She's just got all these loony, fruity, kooky ideas, and she thinks that America is terrible and racist, and we put children in cages, and we should just open the floodgates and let everyone in who wants to. That's her kind of thinking. She's married to a billionaire, by the way. Wealthy beyond her wildest dreams, but, you know, she's all these Hollywood liberals who live in these gated communities. They want to ruin your lives. They want to take your money, but they want to live in comfort and continue to. And you know what? It doesn't even matter, because if they pay higher taxes, which they don't, they put their money in tax shelters, but let's say they do, it's a drop in the bucket for them. They can afford it. So she did an interview where she said that Latinas are the real heroines of this election. Well, you know who got mad about that? Black women, because they thought they were the real heroes of this election, the real heroines. I mean, you know, they saw Kamala Harris, who's half like them, and they voted for her. And they're the real heroines. They got Joe Biden in. So they are mad. She's stealing their thunder. So I just love this. These two progressive minority groups that are basically to the left, although Trump did get a large chunk of both of them, much larger than anybody before him. They're fighting with each other, and I just love it. You know what? As they used to say about the Iran-Iraq war, may both sides lose, but may it go on forever. And then they lose after that. So keep it coming, Eva Longoria, keep it coming. Then there is the Dave Ondal saga. So as we know, we've been following this. This is like a soap opera as the Ondal seat turns. Governor Burgum thought he's going to defeat his political rivals. He didn't like Jeff Delzer, who was a conservative. So he went to that district, District 8, and he put in $1.8 million of his money, he's a billionaire, into a PAC to defeat Jeff Delzer. Well, guess what happened? The person that beat Jeff Delzer, Dave Ondal, unfortunately and sadly, and may he rest in peace, he passed away from COVID in his mid-50s, very young. And his name was on the ballot, and so he got 35% of the vote. That was the majority of the vote, or at least it was the most votes of any candidate, and he won the seat, but he passed away. Well, the governor took it upon himself to appoint an energy official, Mr. Beauchamp, to that seat. And Attorney General Wayne Stenehjem said, no, whoa, that's not the law. The law says, first of all, this election has to be certified, which doesn't happen for a little bit, and also the term has to be up, which is not till November 30th. The new term doesn't take place till December 1st, so you have to wait, and you don't have the authority. The legislature does. Now the Democrat Party is coming in, and they're saying, no, we want our person in. We want all the votes for Ondal null and void. We want our candidates, only his votes to be counted. They're not going to get anywhere with that. But here's the big story. You, the taxpayer, are going to get hurt here, because you know what's happening? Governor Burgum asked Wayne Stenehjem to appoint assistant attorneys general. You know what that means? They hire private attorneys from throughout North Dakota. They get paid big bucks to be this billionaire, Governor Burgum's personal attorneys, to fight for his non-right to fill this seat. So Stenehjem is mad about that because he doesn't agree on the law on this. So he sent a letter asking Burgum all kinds of questions about what are these attorneys being appointed for, what are they going to be doing, and we all know what it's for. And you shouldn't be paying for it. This whole fight is a waste of taxpayer dollars. It's ridiculous. It has to end. What they should do is they should have a special election in January, have this seat empty. I know North Dakota law doesn't allow that, so fine. Follow North Dakota law. Let the legislature appoint. That's their right. I think Wayne Stenehjem is right about this. Don't waste the money. All right, when we come back, we will talk Veterans Day tomorrow and Alex Trebek. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
He once won a spelling bee in an ancient language that he did not speak. He is the only man to ever earn extra credit on an IQ exam. His academic degrees are considered legitimate spending currency in 22 nations, 2 principalities, and at Chick-fil-A restaurants in the United States and Western Canada.
I do not always engage with education programming, but when I do, it is the Dr. Duke Show.
Stay educated with the Dr. Duke Show, weekdays at 4 p.m. on Beck News.
Introducing Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, a better way to sleep. We offer you 5 different models to give you the perfect choice of support and body comfort. Every model begins with our exclusive Accord Comfort Reflex Layer. This ensures proper spinal alignment and a deep down body relief. Our 8-inch Whisper Breeze provides a medium firm feel, and our 10-inch Gentle Night model has a quilted top, giving you a medium plush comfort. Both use Outlast fabric on the top of your mattress, ensuring that your body temperature is not too hot and not too cold. Our Copper Rest Sleep Series is our premier mattress, offering your choice of firm, plush, and luxury plush. Every model uses copper-infused gel latex and provides all the health benefits of copper. Accord Comfort mattresses are handcrafted in the USA and come with a 60-night sleep guarantee. You're going to love sleeping with us. Order today exclusively at accordsleep.com or Tom's Home Furnishings in beautiful downtown Harvey.
Capital City Restaurant Supply is your one-stop shop for quality restaurant products for the large to small kitchens. Commercial grade restaurant and bar supplies, limb game processing equipment, refrigeration, dinnerware, and smallware. We sell everything including the kitchen sink for trusted manufacturers for the chef in all of us. Open to the public since 1971, we are veteran owned and North Dakota proud. Let us take care of your restaurant and home kitchen needs today by visiting us at 1414 Interstate Loop in Bismarck or on the web at capitalcityrestaurantsupply.com.
My name is Rich Shook, and I lost my best friend in a grain bin accident.
Some of the emotional scars that when these incidences happen just resonates throughout the community like dropping a rock in a pond. I guess I'll never forget. At least the last moments we shared. That's why I think this is so important to get out there to people, is people think that it can't happen to you, and it can. The time it would take you to just kiss a loved one and your life is over. I believe it's unacceptable.
This message provided by North Dakota Farmers Union.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So tomorrow is Veterans Day, not the same as Memorial Day. I know a lot of people think that we should also remember the soldiers, not just soldiers, the military, the members of our armed service who made the sacrifice, the ultimate one, and died in defense of our freedom. No, that is Memorial Day. We should remember them every single day, frankly, but they have their day. Tomorrow is about those who served, and many of them did sacrifice. They sacrificed their sanity and their mental health. We know many people have returned with PTSD. Some of them have sacrificed their limbs and their physical fit. I mean, they just can't walk around. Some people have lost arms and legs. I don't know if we have this picture. There's a very touching picture that I always put up on my website every year on Veterans Day, and it's of a veteran of Iran and Iraq, or I'm sorry, of Iraq and Afghanistan, who lost his hand, and you could see it. You could see his prosthetic, and he is hugging a World War II veteran. There it is. So you can see he's a Marine, and I think his name is Mark Grauner, and that man he's hugging is a World War II veteran, and that just moves me, that picture, because to me it shows the sacrifice. Look at what he gave. He gave his arm. And many of these people, I believe he also lost his eye. Many of these people that served, they got brain damage, they had PTSD, they lost their limbs, their lives will never be the same. They're suffering to this day from ailments, both mental and physical, and our hearts go out to them and their families. It's really a tremendous sacrifice. Yes, maybe they did not give their lives, which is the ultimate sacrifice, but they sure gave a lot. They left bits and pieces of themselves overseas, and we have to remember that. Those are our veterans. Yes, there are many who served that they never even left stateside. They left stateside, but they never were on the battlefield. So what? They all joined knowing that at any time they could be called up to go. And I remember my late father today because he served during Vietnam. His whole class was drafted out of medical school because they were ramping up the Vietnam War, and they knew they needed doctors because they knew there was going to be a lot of bloodshed, and there was. So remember everybody that took that chance, that signed up, not knowing if they would come back, not knowing if after they signed up they would get sent somewhere and come back in a body bag. But they did come back, but they took that risk. And that is what we celebrate. Without them, there's no First Amendment and no Second Amendment. There is nothing. We don't have a country without them. And that is why we have to be so vigilant about our borders, because why are we fighting them over there if we are not going to protect ourselves over here? Now, I want to tell you about a few things that are going on in North Dakota tomorrow for Veterans Day. So first of all, there is a Bismarck nonprofit Wall of Honor, and that is going to be launched. It's going to be digital and online. There's going to be an official statewide launch at AmVets in Bismarck tomorrow. And the goal is to have 300 such displays up in 3 years. Right now, they are featured on digital indoor billboards across the state in restaurants, fraternal organizations, convenience stores, taverns, etc. I think it's a great idea, and but it doesn't only just pay tribute to our military, but also law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders who took part in brave and heroic acts. Most of them, though, are veterans. Good for that. Now, also what's going on is, so it's going to be a lot different in North Dakota. All right, so there is an annual ceremony for veterans in North Dakota, and it's at the North Dakota Heritage Center and State Museum. It's been scaled back this year. It's going to be outdoors at the All Veterans Memorial on the Capitol grounds in Bismarck tomorrow. So the event begins at 10:45 a.m. with the presentation of the colors, the singing of the national anthem, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Also a pastor's invocation, introduction of veterans organizations, a rifle salute, playing of taps, etc. It will conclude with a ringing of the bell 11 times at 11 a.m. And it will mark the armistice ending World War I that was signed at 11 a.m. on November 11th, 1918. So 102 years ago, if my math is correct. Remember, it starts at 10:45 and it ends at 11. So it's going to be pretty quick outside. Also, the University of Mary plans a small campus event, but it is closed to the public. And it's 10 a.m. Wednesday during all university mass. Veterans' names will be read off, but you can watch it online. And President Monsignor James Shea will speak about veterans. And by the way, you can also watch online, live stream at the American Legion's Facebook page, the ceremony at the state capitol. So check that out. Now, also, for all of you veterans tomorrow, and I always write about this on my website, and I always talk about this because you serve, so you get a little free stuff. There are a number of things in North Dakota at Applebee's. You can get a free meal, dine-in only, Cracker Barrel free dessert, Denny's free build your own Grand Slam from 5 a.m. to noon, Little Caesars free $5 hot and ready lunch combo, McDonald's free breakfast or lunch sandwich. And these, by the way, these are all veterans and active duty military. Olive Garden free entree, Red Lobster free dessert or appetizer, Starbucks free tall coffee, Texas Roadhouse and Wendy's. Texas Roadhouse, I can't read this, a lot of stuff that they got here. Same with Wendy's, look it up. Kohl's, Home Depot, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond all have certain percentages off on your purchases. You have to have your ID or proof that you served if you're a veteran. And listen, a lot of these things are marketing gimmicks. They get the veterans to come in, then they buy drinks. The drinks are really where they make their profits, or they bring family who have to pay full price. Fine. But you know what? It's free. Take advantage of it. You deserve it. You served. I salute you. Like I said, all of our veterans, they don't know what's going to happen when they sign up to serve. Now, one last thing about Alex Trebek. Yesterday we talked about George Stephanopoulos. The body wasn't even cold, trying to take over. The producers want Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings. I think he's a great choice. One thing I want to say, Alex Trebek brought on publicity for pancreatic cancer. It's not a sexy cancer. My late father died of that. It's a killer. Very little research and advances have been done. Breast cancer and AIDS get several hundreds of millions more spent on them. 631.2 million spent on breast cancer 2018. Only 178 million for pancreatic cancer. Remember, things are not always as they seem. See you Friday.